Kaylyn, I'm 18 and I'm right out of high school. So.
I'm Lynette, I am 18 and I go to Thunder Ridge High School.
I'm Cole, I'm 16 and I go to East High School. And if these two call me East.
Stuff the East.
Panelist love.
Panelist love.
I'm Adam Wiener, I'm 16 and I go to Colorado Academy.
I'm Tandy Larson, 16 going on 17. The fellows will fall in line. I go to Littleton High School. Yeah.
Why do you guys think it's important to have these alliances in your high school?
A lot of it has to do with the fact that it's a normal club. And a lot of the things that happen in it are normal club things, which makes people feel like they are normal in turn because they're in a normal club, even though it happens to focus on gay issues.
I went to Littleton's when I went there. I went to their GSA meeting my freshman year because I have an uncle who's gay, and through the years I was like, oh, well, look at me now. Okay, cool. And it was nice having, you know, a place where I already had made friends and they knew that I was gay before I was. And I was like, oh, thanks for letting me know, buddy.
You may not be able to identify with something because you've never been exposed to it, I guess. There's a lot of people who don't come out or don't come to terms with themselves until they meet a person that's identifying as the same thing. And so I think it's a really cool thing for high schools to have.
More, if not all of the people in our GSA are straight. But, you know, it's really, we really stress the straight part of GSA. And it's not just a gay students alliance. And that the big thing there is support of allies to gay people.
We have probably 3/4 of our club are straight kids, which is super cool. We love it.
Do you guys find in high school that youth is more accepting of sexual orientation issues, gender identity issues, the slang fag, you're gay, I hate you, or that's so gay? I mean, is that still derogatory?
I think youth nowadays are a lot more open to issues like that. And the language thing, I think that's a never-ending battle, really. Because it's become such a norm to use language, especially that's so gay. It's such a huge social norm that a lot of people don't even realize what they're saying.
It's become slang. It's become slang.
Yeah, it's total slang, and even adults are starting to pick up on it, and it's really bad. I work with an organization called GLISTEN, which is the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network, and we recently started a campaign called Think Before You Speak, which targets the use of anti-LGBT language among youth. We do stuff with celebrities like Hillary Duff and Wanda Sykes, and just turn things around is basically our thing, and just be when you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off is kind of our message.
Even though the youth are more accepting, the discrimination against homosexuals has become more under the surface rather than openly admitting it.
I'm a very flamboyantly gay person, and I want everyone to know. I don't care who knows it. Everyone should know it all the time. And I don't think that it should ever be a question. Maybe, I don't know. And so if there's a person, that's how it is at East. And if somebody gets there before you who's I don't know about these gay people, man, then that's how everyone reacts to it. It's there's a cliff. We have one want. Let's all go. So, if it's we don't like the gay kids, then no one likes the gay kids, but it takes only one gay kid to be excuse me, I'm gay kid. I'm out, I'm loud, you like it, I know. And then it's well, we can't argue with that. So, yeah.
I have to heartily disagree with that. There's still hate crimes happening all the time, more than people think. You just don't hear about them because the media covers them up. I know personally I was gay bashed last summer and was attacked outside my work, so for me that's a big thing. I'm very aware of like what happens. There's a lot of like murders against LGBT people all over. We've had a bunch in Colorado in the last couple of years. So it still happens, but I don't think it's as much media coverage as it like did at certain times in the past.
And I think that people don't really notice how big of an issue gay bashing is, because the media kind of only covers it if someone's murdered. So, you know, Lynette survived and there was no media about it. So people aren't being educated about it and aware that it's happening and aware that, you know, the things that they're saying is also bashing, and it's also, you know, it affects you, you know, when someone says, oh, you're so gay, and if they're not, even if they're not like directly talking to you, it still sticks in your mind that that's not a safe person. And then when everyone's saying that, then you're like, okay, no one's a safe person, what do I do? And a lot of LGBT kids like will commit suicide because they feel that no one has their back on it, because no one's creating a safe environment for them.
I'd like to think that it's on the decrease, but you know, every day when I hear it at school and you know on TV, if you listen to Ann Coulter, it's something that we I mean we hear it all the time, and I'd like to think it's, you know, getting better, but you know, I don't know what to think.
I don't know. I think that the internet's a good and bad thing. Like, it's a blessing and it's a curse at the same time, because when you're coming out, it's really confusing, and I think you're a bit more vulnerable to what people are saying. There's a lot of really odd people on the internet. We all know that. Stranger danger. And it's a good resource to find places for communities. Like Rainbow Alley, we're online. We're a youth drop-in center. We have a bunch of resources, and that's like a place like you can easily find on the internet. Like if you're like looking for like a safe space.
At East High, we have rainbow stickers that we stick on the door, and it says that it's a safe place, and not all teachers have them. There are definitely some teachers who are like, we don't want to know, we don't care. Some of them are like, no. And we just, it's like, okay, it's, you know, like the army, don't ask, don't tell. So we just don't say anything if we're gay and just open. Then they know, but we just don't speak. Like, we're just there to learn. And so we try and just keep it separate. What we do doesn't really affect what I'm trying to learn from you.
Right.
And
Well,
so, yeah.
To Littleton, I felt very accepted. I felt very comfortable. We had really accepting administration, and we had openly out teachers, and that really helped me a lot. Like, being able to talk to one of my teachers and be like, okay, I'm going through this. Is this okay? Is this normal? And having her be like, yeah, that's fine. I went through that. Cool. And I was like, sweet. I have someone to talk to. And then when I went to Mountain Vista, it was completely opposite. I went from a really liberal school to a very conservative school with, like, if you're not like us, if you're not our Barbie stereotype, you don't fit in. And I had people, my first, well, up until I left, like, asking me or whispering, like, is that a boy or a girl? And it threw me off, because all my freshman through junior year, I was used to people knowing my gender, and it was really hard. And I had people, when I would walk into a bathroom, I'd hear people making bets outside the classroom. Oh, dude, you owe me $5. Okay, this is my body. That's not something for you to bet over. So, and I had no teacher support at all, and I ended up leaving Mountain Vista because of it. I loved it. Because, well, I'm a theater kid, and so I was totally Tawana. And I was like, I totally have a Casio, and I play in my room all the time. I was like, the dancing? That is me. So I was like sitting in the audience, I was like, oh my gosh, it is my mirror. I loved it. And
what rang true for me was that it was also a very well acted performance. I liked it a lot. But it brought up the issue in my mind of that it seems like a lot of gay people are becoming stereotypical. And not only stereotypical, but the society's view of them is stereotypical, kind of like the African American blackface sort of image that gays are now all this way, all the time. I feel that that's a really big issue that we need to somehow overcome.
I thought it was adventurous. That'd be the one word I wanted to describe it, and it was so amazingly, true for me. And I could relate to every one of the characters, even though I hadn't thrown up in a trash can for quite a long time. It still seemed to me that, I was every one of these people, and although I probably won't ever get up in a naked suit on stage, I will dream about it, and and I'll still try to cover up my mom's eyes when that happens again.
One of the things that excites us here at Curious is that we started this discussion in here right now, and had us all talking here about this, but the discussion hopefully will continue as you guys leave out. So thank you all so much for staying, and please give a round of applause to our panelists.
I think this was such an important night at Curious, and to see those high school kids up here talking about the issues that the play dealt with, it just made me just really think that what we're doing is important, and the voice that needs to be heard and the story that needs to be told. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, Laura, what did you think?
I just thought it was incredible, the energy that was brought into this theater tonight, because we could feel it as actors on stage from the beginning. And to have them speak out and hear not only what they thought of the show, but just their personal experiences and how they can relate to the characters in the show and the themes in the show was just very moving to me personally, and to, I think, everyone in this theater, which was a great experience.
Steve, what do you think just about the basic courage it takes to just get up on a stage and talk about what they talked about tonight?
It blows my mind. And in fact, I teared up a couple times just listening to their stories because, nobody would choose this because people still hate you and people still pass legislation against you and people actually say, well, I can be your friend, but I just don't accept that lifestyle, and it's not a lifestyle, it's not a choice. And when kids like that come out younger and younger, it helps prove that point. And I think that they're the future. They're the way I'm going to get married. They're the way people are going to just accept it as normal, and they are the only hope we have.
So is this a sign of progress?
We hope. Here's to hope. That's the word, right? Hope.
Exactly.
Progress. I just think it's happening way too slowly, At what point in the American history do we say, oh, we can't have slaves, and we can't tell women they can't vote, and we can't tell you can't get married? How many times do we have to fight the same fight? I'm glad these kids are here.
But as you say, these kids, they could be part of the solution.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Thank you for that, kids.
Thanks for joining us.
Yay.